Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be talking about a potential trade for the New Orleans Pelicans. As in a Bleacher Report article a couple days ago, there was a article that was 5 potential Joel Embiid trades, as it has been looking like possibly the superstar and MVP could be looking out of Philadelphia. And this article was mentioning 5 teams who could go after Embiid and what those packages would look like. And let's go over what a trade between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Philadelphia 76ers would look like to land New Orleans the MVP. So the New Orleans Pelicans would receive Joel Embiid and PJ Tucker, and the Philadelphia 76ers would receive Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas, Dyson Daniels, who was the 8th overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft, 2024 first-round pick, 2026 first-round pick, and 2027 first-round pick via Milwaukee. And then a 2024 and a 2026 first-round pick swaps via Milwaukee. So the first-round pick swaps and the 2027 first-round pick are Milwaukee's draft picks, and then but the 2 first-round picks in 2024 and 2026 would be the Pelicans draft picks. Let's go over some stats before I go over my thoughts on this trade. Embiid, who averaged 33 points per game this season with the Philadelphia 76ers, 10 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game, and shot 33% from 3 as a center, and is only 29 years old and was the MVP this past season. PJ Tucker, not that effective as he used to be, a decent three-point shooter, shooting 39% from 3, brings a lot of impact on defense and rebounding. But he averaged 4 points per game and 4 rebounds per game. PJ Tucker, those were his stats last season. And then here is what the Pelicans are getting and what their stats are. Brandon Ingram, multiple-time All-Star. I think he's not a 3-time All-Star. He's a 2-time All-Star. Averaged 25 points per game this season with 6 assists per game with 5.5 rebounds per game. Basically averaged 25, 6, and 6. And he shot 39% from 3. And then Jonas Valanciunas averaged, the Pelicans starting center. He averaged 14 points per game with 10 rebounds per game. And another good center in this trade with good 3-point shooting. Doesn't shoot the ball as much as Joel Embiid from 3, but shot 35% from 3 this season with only 109 attempts compared to Embiid's 200. And then the final player, Dyson Daniels, who did not get a lot of playing time this past season, but was the 8th overall pick in the 2022 NBA draft. And he's only 20 years old, and apparently people think he has a high ceiling. He averaged 4 points per game with 2.5 assists per game and 3 rebounds per game in his rookie season. And he's a solid 3-point shooter. His role is expected to be better this season with the Pelicans. He's a shooting guard / small forward, though. And, he's a really solid player, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how he does in his second year, whether he's playing for the Pelicans or he's playing for somebody else. So that would be the details of the trade. Dyson Daniels, Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, 3 first-round picks and 2 first-round pick swaps for Embiid and PJ Tucker. I personally just don't think Philly would do that. I think it's a good offer. You're giving them an all-star, a really good center who averaged a double-double last year, and a really solid young guard / forward who has potential. And then the draft capital as well, with 3 first-round picks and 2 first-round pick swaps. I mean, I feel like it could be a trade for Philly where they could maybe think about it, but I ultimately don't think Philly will move Joel Embiid this summer or before the season. I think if you're going to see Joel Embiid traded, no, it's not going to be at the trade deadline. I know there were some big players traded at the deadline last year, like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. But I think if you're going to see Embiid get traded, I think it's going to be next offseason. If James Harden decides to sit the whole season and the Sixers can't trade him, the Sixers aren't going to be that good. Maybe they're a playoff team with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and maybe even Tobias Harris too. But I don't see them getting out of the first round. I honestly think Embiid stays, Maxey stays, Harris stays, Harden stays but doesn't play a single minute. Maybe they get a last-minute trade for him at the trade deadline, and Philly gets eliminated in the first round, and Embiid has enough and requests a trade, and then that's when you see him get traded. I don't see Embiid getting moved until next offseason. So I think Philly wants to keep him, and wouldn't surprise me if Philly keeps him for this regular season. But then if it doesn't go right here, I think Embiid's, like, get me the hell out of here, and I think you'll ultimately see Joel Embiid. I'm not going to, I feel like if Harden, I don't think Harden's going to play, but I think, for him to want to stay in Philadelphia, I think you have to get past the second round if you're Philadelphia. I really don't think he'd stay even if they get eliminated in the second round. It's been years and years after playoff losses. I think he'd want to go, and start over with somebody else and probably request a trade if they don't make it out of the second round next season. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, would that be enough for Philly to just move him now? Maybe Ingram, an all-star, average 25, 6 and 6. Valanciunas, starting center, good player, actually kind of young. I mean, he's not young, but he's 31. Will turn 32 at the end of the season, averaged a double-double, and then a really nice young player with draft picks. I think it could be a trade Philly would think about, but ultimately I don't think they do it. I don't think they're going to take any trade off. I mean, they'll take trade offers for Embiid now, but I don't think they're going to accept any deals for Joel Embiid until next offseason. Using your thoughts, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.